Since you get to review a lot of products and you're very much up on what's out there in the marketplace, is there a particular piece of technology that you would love to have, but you just cannot spend the money to buy it?
Well,
come on, share it.
Yes, I'm not a rich person.
Neither am I, man. So,
yeah, I mean, there are things I don't have that I want, I guess. So, I wish. We bought probably 2 years ago now. We bought an HD TV out in the living room. It's just we have a fairly small room, so it's a 42-inch screen, which is not humongous.
No,
but it's funny how old-fashioned it looks now because there's a border around the screen that's actually probably 4 inches wide, and it looks really old-fashioned, like a CRT monitor.
Okay, like a bezel type thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it actually has like a big, thick plastic bezel.
Okay.
And if you were to walk into any electronics retailer today and look at the HD TVs that are available, you'll see that the bezels have gotten very small, and the screens are humongous, and the technology for the displays is nicer and so forth.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the kind of thing, I guess.
I
wish I had a better TV.
A better TV. They say, by the way, I'll share this with you. The new thing with Sharp, with the color yellow in the pixels.
Yes.
I'm hearing that when you get groups of people to compare those with more traditional, the other way of doing things, people prefer the picture of the other set. They don't like the picture with the yellow pixel.
So I just had some friends over watching football this weekend, and we were all debating this.
Okay.
And I've not seen one in person, but actually one of my friends bought it, and two of the others were insisting that they didn't like that picture at all. And he was saying that this was like the greatest thing he had ever seen.
Well, because he bought it, Paul.
Which is right. There's a lot of after the fact justification that goes on with purchases, but I mean not too much. I mean I drive an old car. I wish there was a simpler. There are things in cars now that you can get USB ports and line out ports and things like that. I see these in rental cars and love having that. It's such a little thing, but my car does not have that. I wish it did. That kind of thing.
But your car is paid for, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so every month think, well, I can do without that. That's why they call me the FrugalTech.
Yes, that's my wife's primary concern.
I love saving money. Well, I believe by being frugal that it means getting the most value for your money, not necessarily buying the cheapest thing out there. Whatever's going to serve you the best. Now, what should Apple right now? Because I know there's been some guys waiting to hear this question.
Paul's advice for Apple.
Well, you've obviously been asked this question multiple ways by multiple people. But yeah, look, in the business world, because like I said, we're a mixed office. My wife has a MacBook Pro. I'm using a Mac Pro, but I've got Fusion running Windows on it and doing other stuff. But what should Apple be doing, to get into the business space? What are they doing wrong? What should they be doing?
In some ways, it's almost the wrong question because the way the world's changing, it almost doesn't matter anymore. A lot of Google was right. I think it was at I/O this year. They said that they drew some comparison where 10 years ago all the big apps were being written for Windows, and today all the big new apps are being written for the web, and that's absolutely true. I think there's some split going on between the web and mobile apps actually, but I think that's where development is going. In such a world, for general business use, the Macintosh is every bit as viable as the PC in a business setting, right? I mean, as soon as you get rid of the thing that made Windows so important for so long, the Mac or Linux or anything, I mean, it doesn't matter what you use. It shouldn't matter at all. I think that, for me personally, and probably for a lot of people that are just used to PCs, there are certain efficiencies around keyboard shortcuts and the way sort of a general way that we do things that are just advantageous. But I'm not sure that I'm the norm anymore. I mean, if you were to look at a typical college campus, I think you would see a lot of Macs, a lot of iPads. You'd see a lot of PCs too. But you see people using Google services and not installing stuff on their PCs so much, these people have a different outlook on life than maybe we do or we did at that point in our lives or whatever. And it's just it's an evolving world. So over the next few years, we're going to see things like Google's Chrome OS is going to come out. Apple's iOS platform is going to mature a lot. And I think these things are going to change PC computing. I think Microsoft is going to have to respond to that and make some version of Windows that's very simple as well. As those kind of low-end products get more sophisticated, Windows is going to have to simplify as well. And I can actually see some technological reasons why that's actually more plausible now than it was in the past as well. But I don't know that it matters anymore. I mean, for the Mac, they were historically always, and still are, probably a big deal with the creative set and all that. But people buy Macs now just because they like the design, regular people. And that's fine.
Well, I want to share something with you. This is kind of my take. One thing that I think that Apple should do is actually get people in the Apple stores that are familiar with small business, that not every small business is a photographer or something like in the creative field. We've actually got people that run, restaurants, they run bars, they run construction companies, and they need things like good accounting software and all that.
Sure.
And I think a lot of these people in the Apple stores aren't familiar. And also, if you have a enterprise level question with Apple, it's really awful to get somebody when you call Apple that knows what they're talking about, in my opinion, on the enterprise side of things.
Well, I think, the problem for the enterprise is that it's easy to bulk purchase PCs. It's almost like you're buying a pallet of something at Costco,
Yeah.
Apple computers aren't really sold like that. And, of course, at that point, we can quibble over whether they're a lot more expensive or only a little bit more expensive. But they're more expensive. I mean, Macs are more expensive. And it's a tough thing. There's a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy to the enterprise right now because they've been on Windows for so long that everything just works.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it. And when it's one thing for the CEO to come in and say, "I want a MacBook Pro." Yeah, okay, and we'll figure it out for that guy. But when the entire accounting department wants Macs, that's, I think, for a lot of companies, it's like, okay, that's not happening. It's just too much.
Okay, fair enough.